خلوهی هاوکیمیان. Today, my guest is the Chief Executive Officer of Iraq Stock Exchange, Mr. Taha Abdulsalam. Good morning, Mr. Taha. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Mr. Taha, as we all pass the 100th day of the pandemic announced in March, will you please tell us how the Iraq Stock Exchange was dealing during this time, during this hard time that all the world will passing, and in what condition are you now?
Thank you for having this interview, and it is my pleasure to be in this interview to discuss and talk about the situation the first time, and talking about the procedure that the stock exchange have it in these days. I will talk about the Iraqi procedures. We took our procedures since March. Before March, we didn't have any announced or have any. We surprised. Let me tell you that in March that there is something wrong in the world. In the beginning, they are talking about crisis, economic crisis or financial crisis. Something will happen to the stock exchanges or capital markets, but we discovered that there is a pandemic and there is a crisis in the health. Therefore, the Iraqi government stopped the operation and made a curfew, total curfew since March 17. We stopped the operation. We didn't know what to do at the beginning because we thought it is something for 7 days or 14 days or something. There is a cure to face it. But when we saw it is difficult to make a decision without take arrangement and procedures to live with that situation. What I mean is we must face the problem or the crisis with a special procedures. Therefore, after 35 days, when the government allowed us to work within 25% from the employees, from the capacity building and everything, we asked the brokerage firm to trade from their offices, online trade. There is an intranet between the stock exchange and the brokerage firm. So we began trading. We made it for 2 weeks, 3 sessions in a week. We trade 5 sessions every week, but after the first 35 days, we made 3 sessions every week just to rearrange the operation again, call the investors that you don't need to go to the stock exchange. Some people like to come every day to the stock exchange to watch and monitor and talk with the employees, talk with the brokerage firms. But we ask them that you cannot come to the stock exchange. Your trade will be through the brokerage firm, which is, there are 42 brokerage firms in Baghdad, 2 outside Baghdad. So we began and we succeed with that. After 2 weeks, we increased the sessions to 5 sessions, just like that. But there is another wave of the pandemic. So we stopped another 2 weeks, including the Eid al-Fitr holiday, another week after it. And now we get back since June 14. We start again, 5 sessions every week, and with the whole operation for the stock exchange. But it is not allowed to the investors to come to the stock exchange, not allowed to the brokerage firm to trade from the stock exchange. They are traded from their offices.
Okay, so you had 2 times the closure of stock exchange, 2 times. But in general, the stock exchange was ready for working from home and working remotely. Did you have a business continuity plan, contingency plan beforehand, or you were managing it on the way?
When we select the systems in 2007 and we transfer 100% to be automatically for trading and for the depository, we insist to have all the operation, the network between the brokerage firm and the stock exchange. In the beginning, we allowed people to come to the stock exchange because it is something new. The automation itself was something new. When we dematerialize all the certificates to be deposited in the depository, some people says, no, I will not give you my certificate. No, I like to put it under my head. Those kinds of mentality. But after a while, they understand they cannot trade unless they deposit their certificates in the stock exchange. So we succeed in that in 2009. We insist as a stock exchange to build our network between the stock exchange and the brokerage firms, and also with two outside Baghdad, which is not easy. We use the VPN connection. When we succeed with that, we put it just like that. Some people stay coming to the stock exchange. Some people says, no, we will not come to the stock exchange again. We will trade from the brokerage firm basis. Our plan for this year, 2020, before the pandemic, that we asked to some companies to give us to prepare RFP that we need to make the trading, online trading for investors themselves, not the brokerage firm. And we have two proposals, one from Iraqi company and the other from Jordanian company to help us and help the brokerage firm to provide the system and to train them and to do all the situation that regarding settlement with the bank, all the system functions. So we start discussion with those two companies to work on it. But since March, when we stopped the operation, and honestly, we put in our mind that we are going forward to develop some function to encourage investors and change the methodology of not coming to the stock exchange. You can run your business by yourself. But with the board of governors says, let's see what will happen in those 3 months. Till now, there is some companies, listed companies, are closed till now. Only banks, which there are 40 banks listed in the stock exchange from 100 company listed. They are working now, but there is 60 or less than 60 companies. Till now, they are not working. They are not beginning their activities again because they have employees. They need to do some arrangement. The committee of crisis, health crisis, not allow them to get back to work unless they made some procedures to protect their employees, to protect the community.
Yeah, I understand. So half of your issuers are not active right now, are not working. This is where maybe have the consequence on the trading also. How do you evaluate the trading, the volumes of trading after these two closures?
I am happy to say I didn't face decline prices too much. There is decreasing in the prices when we get in May. We get back to work in May. There is decrease about in the first week there is 3%. The second week there is 4%, and but after that and now the prices are settled down. There is some changes. Some companies going up, some companies going down. By the way, maybe I am happy or not, I don't know. But the banks doing money now because all the activities regarding trade, regarding salaries for the community, began to be done by the banks. The banks making good profit for those three months. So the pandemic has helped some companies or give benefits for banks to make money.
Yeah, interesting. And it is good that the financial sector is healthy there. Is a healthy financial sector is always good for the economy. Let's come back to the stock exchange. How does your employee feel working from home? Are they comfortable with this? How you as a CEO evaluate this? Is this a good exercise, or how is your attitude to work from home?
In fact, not all employees have the efficiency to work from their from home.
Mm-hmm.
I have good managers. I have 7 managers. They are very qualified. They work with me, and they can run the systems from home.
Mm-hmm.
Do many functions of their jobs from their homes, but not all the employees
Okay.
this mentality to work from their offices or from their homes. Sorry. So I asked them to be involved with some training,
Mm-hmm.
ask the managers to help their employees to work, give them some reports, give them some uh, maybe they help you in some function in your work. But those 7 managers that I depend on them, they are qualified to work and they understand how can they run the business remotely. But the others not often. It will take time. This is something surprised the countries,
Yeah.
economics, even the capital markets. And I'm talking not a very developed stock exchange in the region or in the world, but we try to develop the capital market with giving many ideas. By the way, I saw some investors, they have, when they discuss, there is a page for the stock exchange on the Facebook, they discuss about we do, why we don't that. Well, in the beginning, they says, why you are closed for 35 days? I says, the PR answer their questions that the banks are closed now. We
Mm-hmm.
cannot unless there is a banks because clearing and settlement depend to the activity to the banks. So they began to understand we need to do that, we need to do this. We saw that in the other stock exchanges. So this mentality, this discussion between the community and the stock exchange encourage us to go forward and to think about how we can develop the procedures by using systems and by it doesn't need you to come to the stock exchange physically. You can run your business, you can run your invest from anywhere you are in.
Yeah, I can see the whole activity of Iraq Stock Exchange on the social networks, and you are very active, and I like to follow you. By the way, you are also, as a stock exchange, dealing with the financial literacy very well. You organize several webinars, and you are active with the investors and with the community. So, will you please tell some points? What are you, as a stock exchange, doing for financial literacy in your country? I know you are doing a lot of things.
Uh, it's good that I was teaching in Baghdad University for the some students 10 years ago when I was young. Uh, I have to have I used to have 2 days giving information about the stock exchange, about the financial institution in the world. So there is good relationship between the stock exchange and the universities and colleges. Every day we train, every year we train about 500 to 600 students from the universities. Uh, when the crisis happened, when the pandemic happens, we feel, and there is good programs that we discovered that we can teach or reach many people from your place, from your home. You can reach everyone in the world. Uh, I began to talk with some colleges that we can have seminar, we can have workshop for the teachers, for the employees, just to discuss, especially when there is education through network happens for the whole stages of students. So we put in our mind to have some workshops through the network. And we success with that. We began in March. I made one. In April, we made 2, I believe. So we began to discuss with the community, especially with the students. Sometimes not only students, because it is program, you have the ID and the password. some people from journalists, some
Mm-hmm.
people they are merchant, they have business or stock. They began to what is the meaning of the stock exchange? How can I bring my money? You don't need to bring your money. Put your money in the bank, and you have to follow these procedures. They used to have, because they are merchant. Shall I send my money? Shall I give my? It is not matter of you giving your money. It's a matter of running your business, yeah, running your running your money to have benefits from the stock exchange. So we didn't lose the relationship with the community, especially with the students.
This is good. Um, and the last question, what is your personal feeling when the pandemic will over and when we will be back to the normal, new normal, but at least normal stage? And what are the plans of Iraq Stock Exchange after this all is finished?
It is a great question, by the way. It's mean that what we are going to have now and what we are going to do in the future. In fact, the big crisis and the big challenge, it's now. It's facing the pandemic, keep your work running, keep the investors and the investment running, not stopping everything. I'm against stopping everything because some people, many people have their jobs, have their works, have their benefits from, have their families. They must run their business. I'm not telling them to go out their homes now or to, but they must have the ability to change the methodology that they don't need to go and to be in the same hall with many people. They must understand how to run their business from home, from their offices, from their anywhere without touching or be with another one in the same room. So the big challenge is economic challenge, health challenge, and financial and capital market challenge. Those three challenges that we are facing now, we must face it. We must live in it, with it, without losing everything. At least we must run at least 50% from what we have running before, because it's something to preparing to continue to the other stage, that what is going after the pandemic gone, inshallah, and everything going back. Not everything going back. The people and the communities and the others, they will be suspicious about everything. They are not going to touch everything. They are even in the between families. When someone comes, our family is related to us, clean yourself, do that, do this. So there will be another mentality, another traditional. When we have this traditional, new traditional in our lives, we must have new traditional in our works too. So I believe the relationship, the economy relationship, it will not change. The merchant relationship, it will not change. The financial instrument and the capital market, I believe, methodology, it will be changed to the better by using everything remotely. We are going to face, I mean, not in the financial, in the capital market alone, but everywhere. When we go in your airplane to travel to another place, when we will have a meeting with another companies, if you like to run a new business, if you like to give, if you have to give a new documents to register something, the methodologies, it will be easier, it will be faster, it will be more savior without facing everyone. But in the end of the day, we are humans. It must have at least 25% or more or less from facing, and we will have another, the General Assembly and the discussions to have master degree or PhD degree by remotely. But this is for now. After it, I believe the normal life, it will be back again. But in business, it will be more efficiency to use network, to use programs. It will be more easier, but it will be more difficult for those who have no education. So we must educate the community to prepare at least to understand what's going on in the world.
Thank you, Mr. Taha. Thank you for your thoughts, for the information, and hope to see you soon. Not only
It's my
online, but
pleasure.
on-site. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, and I am happy to be in this interview, and I am encouraged to face arrangement and developed in the world, and encourage even my kids to be prepared to give thoughts about what they are thinking about the future. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks.